All right, let's dive right in. Today we're looking at some really fascinating analysis on XRP that suggests it could be gearing up for something huge. You've got the charts telling one story and investor behavior telling another. And when you put them together, well, that's where things get really interesting.
So what's the magic number everyone's talking about? $3.75. According to this analysis, that's the target. And if it hits that, that would be a brand new all-time high for XRP, which is exactly why it's turning so many heads.
That's a pretty bold call, right? So the big question is, what's actually backing this up? Well, it all comes down to two big things: a classic pattern showing up on the chart, and what I think is the really cool part, a sort of secret message hidden in the investor data itself.
First things first, let's talk technicals. The XRP price chart is starting to carve out a shape that a lot of traders see as a huge bullish signal.
It's called an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So what does that even mean? Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like a signal flare. After the price has been falling for a while, this pattern pops up and suggests the trend is about to completely flip the script from down to up. It's a classic sign that a bottom might be in. You see, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It builds in stages. First, you get a little dip. That's the left shoulder. Then comes a deeper drop. That forms the head, followed by another, smaller dip for the right shoulder. But here's the kicker. That horizontal line across the top, they call it the neckline. If the price can punch through that line with some real force, that's the breakout that confirms the whole bullish setup.
But look, a chart pattern by itself is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's dig into that second piece of evidence, because this is where the story gets really compelling. The data coming straight off the blockchain is telling us a story about who's buying and who's holding on for dear life.
And what we're seeing is a tale of two different investors. On one side, you've got the vets, the long-term holders, and they've basically slammed on the brakes when it comes to selling. And on the other side, you've got a new wave of buyers who are jumping in and buying up what they can. I mean, just look at this. It's pretty wild. On one day, these long-term holders moved over 12 million XRP. Just 2 days later, that flow basically vanished, dropping by a staggering 99%. That shows some serious confidence. It suggests the most experienced investors are holding tight because they're betting on much, much higher prices. So while the old guard is holding tight, you've got this rush of new buyers jumping into the game. This chart here shows that the amount of XRP held by brand new wallets, we're talking just 1 week to 1 month old, nearly doubled in just 10 days. That's a huge surge of fresh demand and new money coming in.
Okay, so we've got a powerful chart pattern and we've got strong conviction from investors. So let's boil this all down. What are the actual numbers you need to be watching right now?
There are really 3 key numbers to keep on your radar. The first one, and the most important, is $3.21. That's the neckline we were talking about. If the price can get above it and stay there, that's like the technical green light for this whole bullish reversal.
And if we get that green light, the pattern points to this target, $3.75. This wouldn't just be a solid 21% jump from there, but like we said, it would also be a new all-time high. But, we always have to talk about the flip side. What if this whole thing is wrong? Well, for this scenario, the line in the sand is $2.69. If the price drops below that level, then this whole bullish idea is pretty much thrown out the window.
All right, let's zoom out and put it all together. We've got the chart, we've got the investor data, we've got the key price levels. So, what's the big picture here?
You see, what's so powerful here isn't just one thing. It's how everything is lining up at the exact same time. We're not just looking at a pattern on a chart. We're seeing that pattern show up right as the supply from long-term holders dries up and demand from new buyers is surging. It's that combination, that perfect storm, that could create the recipe for a massive price move.
And that, of course, leads us to the big question. This analysis lays out a really clear case based on both charts and human behavior. But is that combination of technical strength and new demand really going to be enough to push XRP over the top to a new all-time high? The data seems to be pointing that way. But hey, at the end of the day, the market is going to do what the market is going to do.